Yes. What did you do with the computers you no longer use?
My mom has it.
Do you know that computers should be recycled?
I believe they should be, but how?
Do you know where should you go to recycle your computers?
Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you for participation. Go.
What do you do with the old computers you're done using?
Most times the computers, when I'm finished using them, I either throw them away or I put them in my attic and never see them ever again.
Did you know that computers can be recycled?
I mean, they talk about it, so I guess I do know. I just choose to ignore it and throw it out because I'm not environmentally friendly.
Where do you think computers should be taken when you're done using them?
To be honest, I would not know where to take my computer to recycle it. That is why I just throw it in the garbage.
In the United States, we generate 4.5 billion pounds of electronic waste a year.
Electronic waste, or e-waste, is the fastest growing kind of trash in America. It's a sleeping giant, and it's going to be trouble when we wake up to it. Not just for the sheer physical volume dumped in landfills. The scary part is what's inside them.
This thing is an extremely toxic item. You've got leaded glass in the cathode ray tube here, and you've got leaded glass in the front. You've got lead in the circuit boards. You've got mercury switches. Electronic waste accounts for 70% of the heavy metals in landfills.
America's problem is becoming the world's problem, literally.
So here's what we know so far. In the United States alone, between 300 and 400 million of electronic items become obsolete each year, and less than 20% of that e-waste is recycled. Only 12.5% of e-waste is currently recycled. The EPA's most recent e-waste report shows that we got rid of, or recycled, 142,000 computers and 416,000 mobile devices every day. Recycling only 1 million laptops saves the energy equivalent to the electricity of by about 3,600 U.S. homes in a year. E-waste represents 2% of America's trash in landfills, but it equals 70% of overall toxic waste. The extreme amount of lead in electronics alone causes damage in the central and peripheral nervous systems, the blood, and kidneys. As we can see, Americans' contribution to the e-waste is nowhere near being taken care of, with such low percentage of e-waste we produce being recycled. Instead, like other world issues, we outsource the problem to places like Nigeria and China illegally to be recycled in an unhealthy way that harms those there and everyone living there. The smoke produced can be seen from miles away and pollute the nearby environment, including the water and animals.
Not tadpoles, and I guess not even worms.
All right, hello. We're here today with an expert in the tech recycling industry. He's worked for a company called Tech Recyclers for the last 3 years. David Petrone, nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
Nice to meet you. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your company's, how things are run?
Well, I guess the best way I could tell you about my company would just to be able to show you. You've seen one of these before, I guess.
Good old cell phone.
Yeah, traditional iPhone, good old cell phone. But what do you do with your cell phone when it's done? You go and you give it back to Verizon, or you just throw it in the garbage. What do you do? Maybe you save them. I don't know, but what our company does is we take these cell phones and we break them into parts, because unlike things like, food, paper, things of that nature, they're biodegradable. Cell phone parts and the metals inside them are not. So we take the parts, we break them down, and we sell them out to other companies. Companies that could use them for other products, something like either a bicycle, your kid's baseball bat, or even some of the parts in the car you drive.
Wow, it's a lot of different things that goes in.
Yeah, but it's something important.
So normally recycling is not associated with like a business or making money. So how, for example, does your company make money at the end of the day? How do you run yourselves?
So, like I said, we take our cell phone parts and we break them down and we sell them to companies that, we're not the ones making the bicycles or things like that, but we'll take the parts of the cell phones, and things of that nature, the iron or the steel or the aluminum or whatever it is, and sell them to different companies that, you know, manufacture car parts or steel infrastructures or, you know, things of that nature.
Wow. Okay. So you have a lot of different industries you could go into with these metals that you gather
Yes.
from all these technological devices.
Definitely.
All right. So I'm sure you went over this, but why don't you give us, like, let's see, like 3 kinds of products that you can make with these metals that you strip down from parts?
Well, like I said, I mean, let's just look on us right now. I'd say our cell phone piece right here, you're going to take that and you could use it to make some of the links in my watch here or your necklace. You look outside your windows, you know, some of the metals in the axles of the cars, as well as the air conditioning vents on top of buildings that you see. It could be anything from the inside of your remote to, you know, one of the blades in your fan. It's really all around you, and it's important to use the materials we have to recycle them and kind of, you know, give them a new life somewhere else.
All right, so I guess this kind of leads on to my last question for you. Do you see this as a sustainable way to renew and reuse technological devices and materials?
Definitely. Besides from, you know, it being a great and profitable industry and business, you know, something I'm privileged to be a part of, but you know, it helps our planet. It's part of the green movement. You know, we're able to recycle products that were once used, and instead of having them go to waste, you know, these things are not biodegradable. They would either sit in our landfills and our dumps, or, you know, be stored away in the dark parts of our closets in our houses. So instead of that, you know, we're using what we have only to make more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's a good business you're involved in.
It really is.
And thanks for meeting me. Thanks for taking the time to discuss this.
I really appreciate it. It's something I love, and, you know, thanks for having me.
No problem.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure.
What did you do with computers you no longer use?
I usually leave it to my parents.
Do you know they should be recycled?
Yes.
And where did you learn that?
Sustainability class.
Who is teaching that course?
Professor Gupta.
How is he?
He's awesome. Always the best professor in our campus.